Welcome to Marwood's Customs. I wanted to talk to you today about a couple things, show you a few things that you can do with the Pro 4 magnets from Viper. So before the other video, I said we'll build one together. That's still here, and it'll be a long video. This one's going to be a little shorter, but I'm going to show you how to sneak in the magnets without having to take your armature out. Now, this car was a Blazing Brake square back. Just if you happen to have this AFX body and no other chassis fit it but the G Plus, the square backs do. Here's my Pro 10 version of that car to kind of prove it. And this thing is wicked on the track. Fast, sticks to the track, 18 bolts, stock front tires. I did change to these janky things I showed you, but they're pretty nubby and almost worn out. So I'll be changing those soon too. And same thing, I just had to put a straight axle and a crown gear out of a Aurora G Plus, which Slot Car Central sells, and they sell these guys. They sell the whole chassis. So it's pretty cool. So you pop out the old multi-gear clutch system, and you pick up a crown gear and an axle for an Aurora G Plus, which you may already have in your box of goodies like we all have in this hobby. So I'm filming with my phone, so I'll try and keep this like where my hands are out of the way and you see the work. So what I did with the axle is I reused the old foam tires. The first thing I did was the crown gear, and I pressed that on to where you can just see the spline, and that's the spline part there. You can just see, you know, as the back of that crown gear goes over it, I stop. Same thing with the tires. So it may look like it's off-centered. It's because of the gear. And then it's as simple as snapping it in, and you've got nice lash, and this will run really smooth. So we're gonna go ahead and pop that out and set that aside for now. And I'm gonna pull the pin out of it. You can put in a metal pin or whatever you prefer, or use the pin that comes with it. We'll put that one back in. This car is gonna go to Slot Car Central, so if you happen to be there and want to try out the Pro 4 magnets from Viper, here's your great opportunity to do so. So first thing I do is take my thumb and I'm gonna push in between the two brushes on your commutator. I'm not gonna press or anything, I'm just gonna hold my thumb there. And then these magnet plates on the sides have a little clip that you're gonna push up, push and push up, and then you take a screwdriver and just get it started. And you do the same thing over here, left-handed. Let's try it. I don't wanna poke my my skin here, so you'll see those two little tabs here move upward where that screwdriver or yours small screwdriver, you can see where the tab is, and you'll just see it pop up. It's not hard. So, but again, just keeping my finger on the front of the armature between the two where the brushes go up against the commutator. Then I'm just gonna push up on that and keep pushing until these guys start moving like that. And we're gonna set that aside and get our magnets ready. So we know on the Aurora G Plus, your north magnet, if you don't know, these do come marked. You'll see a little silver stripe there, and you can always paint that if you want, or take a Sharpie and fill in the gaps. But you'll see where the bottom of the car has a white magnet. And you'll see how we're now on the opposite side with that one. So it's not a big deal. These chassis, I think, probably are flexible in the same direction. They're pretty firm chassis, actually. So now, keeping that pressed, I'm just gonna go ahead and roll this out. We're gonna do one at a time. Just gonna roll that out, keeping my thumb there. Do you remember which magnet went where? I do. I've done a lot of these, so our unmarked magnet's gonna go on that side. And if you get it wrong, I actually don't think it matters. Just flip the axle over. So these things are strong, so just be careful. And then you're gonna grab your flux plate off of the, I swear these cars are brand new, never used. So when I had the G pluses and was doing these initially, I want to move that magnet out of my work area. So when I was doing these initially on the G pluses, and I'll show you which way this goes here in a second. There's a little groove in the magnet, and that's the side you're going to want to put the groove in, and there's your little lock tab that you pushed on to unlock it. That's why there's no top bar needed. So we'll go ahead and kind of angle it, and if you need to push up back here a little, you can, to get it started. This is a lot more tight of a fit than a standard G plus. I'm gonna switch hands so I can go over to my right hand and get that guy started. Pry up on the back of the motor, give it a little push. I don't want to push it all the way down yet. So there's one, and then we'll go ahead and slide out this guy like that, and we'll steal the flex plate from that one. I was on the phone with Slot Car Central today, and he was like, I love your videos, man. You need to do shorts, shorten them up. So I'll do one of your cars that I'm going to send you, and we'll shorten it up, all right? So anyway, this isn't that hard. It's just kind of keeping, and if you mess up and like let those brushes snap together, it's not a big deal to change them anyway. That barrel retainer that's in the Aurora car is now, you know, it's gone. So these just snap in. It's not a big deal to, you know, to have to go through that. So just kind of work them down. Make sure you line up this little bearing, we'll call it. That's when Aurora AFX started to kind of like cheap out, and you'll feel that snap into place, and voila, you've got a car that we can get some shoes on and test. So like I said, I feel like these are new. The ones that I tested, I even did Pro 10s, and it did fry the motor, but it did run for a little while. It never balled out like all those old G pluses I was doing. And you gotta, I guess, think of it this way, like this particular car, how many people ran these versus the G plus cars? The G plus cars probably have 1 million miles on them. These probably have 5. So that's a good way to think of it. And for the price, it's a killer deal, in my opinion. So we can go ahead and get the axle on. And as I said, I always go with crown gear with the colored side of the magnet. If they get this at the store and put it on the track, we'll make sure it runs and everything. If they get this at the store, or maybe I'll do the laps with it here, and it does go the opposite way, or if it goes the opposite way here, you can always flip the axle over. You're building. So we'll move on to shoes though. So these shoes are basically the short shoe from either Jag Hobbies or a Mega G pit kit. So they're the short versions. If you happen to own a Mega G pit kit or a set of the shoes and springs, we're using the stock Aurora springs, but you're in business. So it's like kind of like a budget way to have a really cool fast car and a very one stop, one shipping fee other than the magnets. And like I said, if it's something that like you're not comfortable with building or whatever, you can always send your cars to me and I'll build them. If you're into the G Plus only and you want a real, the real deal, I have a ton of those here as well. I've got a lot of these here. So I discovered this just by experimentation, talking with someone that said, oh, Tyco shoes. And I'm like, okay, cool, man. But I use these G Plus and they're rounded and they go around the barrels. But the Tyco shoes will work just as fine. I just like, the reason I did a lot of polishing in the beginning was point of contact. So I always felt like if things are polished, they're going to contact each other better. That's just my own opinion. Of course, that's debatable. So we're in. We'll get our little pin in, but we'll fix that top first. I hope I got all that on film for you. If I didn't, there's a set of Mega G shoes. You can use Tycos, apparently, I was told by a reliable source. Or just try the stock shoes. See if you like them and kind of go from there. This tire's like been pushed on. But these cars are great, man. And for the price point, they're super cool fun. And you're getting like OG Aurora, in my opinion. So there's your car. Set this guy here. Get this on our block. Just give it a roll. It's got foams on it, so I'm gonna have to push a little harder just to kind of get an idea of if my wheel installation was straight, that sort of thing. Everything looks good there, and then we'll roll it around. These test blocks from Hardin Creek I can't recommend these enough. They have a 14 thousandths rail height, which is like, I think your Hopra style approved. Our rail heights vary with the AFX track. I think I was told somewhere around 2 thousandths, give or take. So they could be 12 thousandths, or they could be 14, or they could be 16. So it's not a horrible thing, but you want to see a little bit of, before you go putting this out. I mean, you can run laps and put it on the track, but I want to look and see shoe wear, and I can see where it's already like hitting here and at the, just going all the way down on both sides, which is great. So right here we can do the lube part, and we can at least, I don't have my test block out here. We can do a little battery test, but we'll give this a little bit of lube. I don't know how long these sat or any of that good stuff, but it doesn't hurt anything to lube your goodies. Put a little in the front bearing there. That hole up front, man, in some of the more advanced videos that I'll do, where we replace these plastic bearings with actual roller bearings, again, friction. You can get some super fast cars out of these. Traction mags as well. There's a little secret that with this chassis, as far as like if you're a person who wants to glue in traction mags and go with the Pro 10 setup, you can go that route. These chassis actually there's tons of room to fit that stuff. So I'll leave that stuff up to you. I've done a few. I've been gifted a few. Check my rear end lash there. Feels a little tight. Give this a push. We'll give it a pull with our HC slots puller. At least I think we will. There we go. Just try and pull that over just a smidge. Only because it's a little noisy. Like I said, you'll get into that final adjustment stuff with every car, every build that you do. It's kind of a personal preference thing. All right, that's got a little better lash. Let's see if that's... There we go, that sounds better. These things just... They still need to be broken in. I mean, if you recall the memo that Aurora sent out, it's been posted. It's on my page and my photos. It's a memo that I found online. One of the pages, someone was cool enough to share it. So whenever I see cool stuff about the Aurora G Pluses, I'll save it. But basically, like the way the G Plus was designed, and I think it includes this car, is it was designed to break in, then run very well for a pretty long period of time. Let's say in an 8x10 layout, you know, probably around 1,500 laps or so, 2,000 laps before you needed to replace the brushes or go get what they call the tune-up kit. But I mean, nowadays it's like so much stuff is available to us. But altogether, I think right now, you've got maybe 35, 36 bucks into that. So if you want to do that on a stock Aurora, like, you can't beat the price with the magnets. Didn't have to do a motor upgrade. We're using the original shoes, springs, and barrels from a new old stock car, basically, that was really never used. You don't have to do this upgrade, like I said. I'll leave that up to you, and we'll get this shipped off to Select Car Central. Let them zing that around. He's got a Javelin body that we're gonna try to clean off the chrome on and send it to him. Some video he's seen of someone stripping the chrome off of a Javelin. So we'll put that on a Javelin. So if you see it in the display case and you have to be at the store, just say, hey, Marwood said I could drive that on your track. So there it is. Hope you enjoyed the build. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask. And I know that seems a little bizarre being able to sneak that stuff in, but it is doable with a little patience. And I've done so many of these now that I would say like 1 out of every 25 I'll zap it and pull the front of the motor out or whatever. And just so you know too, that front bearing, if it looks like it's out, it's not. You can see where it's touching down at the chassis. It's nice and seated in there. It actually rocks back and forth, just like the old brass ones did. That's what this car was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like the next iteration of the Magna Traction and the G Plus. And of course, you know, using plastic components and stuff, made cheaper. But these things are great fun, man, and they rip. This thing's fast. So enjoy. If you want to see a Pro 4 on this chassis ran, I do have videos of that up. I also got videos of this guy with the Pro 10s. Like I said, I will be changing these rear silicone foamed tires. They're pretty like whipped. So, but there's another, like I said, this has a lot more gear lash than the car we just did. So every car is going to be a little different. That's just normal. So once again, thanks for watching Marwood's Customs, and we'll see you in the next video.